My grandfather, George Wilcox, was a very kind and loving man. He tried to help the people that didn't have anything, because, you know, Roswell at that time wasn't a real prosperous city. In 1969, I was at my grandmother's house, Inez Wilcox, and it was the same day that they had landed on the moon. And that's when my grandmother told me about the Roswell incident.
According to Barbara Dugar, when her grandfather got to the crash site, it was already surrounded by the military, and they weren't happy to see him.
My grandfather went out to see what had happened. When he got there, he saw the spaceship. The flying saucer had crashed outside of Roswell. She talked about the aliens and how they were dressed. Yes.
How were they dressed?
Well, they had on a silk suit and they had the big eyes. She said there were little people walking around, and there were some dead and some alive. I mean, I just sat there and leaned back in my chair and thought, military came and told him to go back to the office because there would be a lot of interviewing. They surrounded the courthouse, they came in, they roughed George Wilcox up in front of Big Mom. And she said a red-headed colonel came into the office and told Granddaddy, got him and told him, in no uncertain terms, if they told the story of the Roswell incident, that their family would be killed and all their grandchildren, I mean, they threatened them. And their lives had been changed. My grandfather went crazy, and my grandmother had to go through a lot of hell because of that.
How do you connect your grandfather's mental illness to the events of Roswell? What leads you to this conclusion?
My grandfather was perfectly normal. He wouldn't have been sheriff of Roswell.
Right. He was well respected from what I've read.
And after that, he was not normal ever again. Ever again. And if somebody from the government doesn't like it, well, that's just too dang bad. People in America, in the world, need to know that the Roswell incident is real.